Hello, everyone. This is Eric with OzoneTCG. Today we have
Michael Shari. I just got second place in a remote regional.
fantastic. Which deck did you pick today?
I played Unchained, went undefeated technically, had one tie in the mix.
Any shoutouts before we get into the deck profile?
Shout out to my wife for letting me play this 11-hour event for the 7 round. It dragged on way too long. Shout out to Sean Pittman for not playing Scarlight and burning me in times.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and start with the main deck then.
All right. Main deck, we had 3 Aruha, 2 Rakia, and 1 Sarama for the twins. I know a lot of lists are playing 1 of Rakia, but I just like having the second one. It comes up for like the grind game and putting up a wall sometimes, just pulling out the guys, especially from deck repeatedly. Having extra names is just beneficial for that. The other starter, Shavara, and then the one-ofs got 1 Shayama, 1 Abominable Soul, and 1 Soul Disaster. Most people aren't playing this guy, but I think he's kind of the MVP. I mean, he outsboards, and if nothing else, he requires your opponent to interact with it, because he just removes a body from your opponent's board, or he's recursion and brings stuff back from the graveyard. So and then we have our other starter engine. We have the 3 Tour Guide and the 1 Rhino Warrior. The Tour Guide is great because it turns this into a 1-card combo versus needing either of the red ones, either Aruha or Shavara. You need them plus an Unchained spell or trap. Tour Guide just gets it done with 1 card, so you're able to have more either gas for the engine if you get interrupted, or just more potential for non-engine to interrupt your opponent. The non-engine monsters, we got 3 Ash, double Droll, and double Fenrir. I just wanted something else to help push for damage, and it helps clear boards. I mean, this deck is great at going second and just breaking boards. For the spells, we got 3 Abomination Prison, just Rhoda for the deck, searches the monsters or the traps, and also has the effect that you can pop it while it's face down. So the only thing that can make this card better is if it was an Unchained card, so that you could reset it off of Sarama or set it off of Shavara. But unfortunately, they didn't want to make it that broken. And then we got triple thrust. All the spell traps in this deck are normal, so even being interrupted on turn 1, I can activate thrust, set a trap, and then pop it with one of my Unchained guys and just keep going off. And then a couple of 1-of power spells, got 1 talent, 1 Dark Hole, and 1 Feather Duster. Dark Hole is great because, again, if I get interrupted, I can Dark Hole my own guys and just use their effect to float from deck, and it's just very game winning sometimes. So came up a few times. And then traps, we got triple escape, pops 1 of my Unchained cards, and then another card on the field, doesn't have to be my opponent, helps dodge evenly very well. And then I can just bring the guys back after evenly resolves. And then triple chamber, which is a non-targeting special summon from hand or graveyard. And then lastly, we got triple imperm. 41 card main.
Cool. Would you have changed anything in the main deck moving forward?
Yeah, I'd get rid of these Fenrirs. They were great, but at the same time, there were like 2 games that I just bricked. I was just drawing non-engine or drawing 1 piece of the Unchained engine, and I would switch them out for prosperities, but I couldn't get my hands on them in time for the event. But next time I'll have those instead of Fenrirs.
Oh, gotcha. Fair enough.
And then for the extra deck, for the Unchained end part of it, we're playing 2 Yama, 2 Rage, 2 Anguish, and 1 Abomination. Abomination was great. I had a lab matchup, and just every time they kept setting traps, I would go end phase, pop it, and just help clean up boards. Also, in the lab matchup, because they're fiends, I was using Disaster to link with their guys to make Yama on their turn. I'm sorry, using Rage on their turn or Disaster and Anguish on my turn. But like this just gave me a search on their turn for extra follow-up, which was very good. And then outside of the Unchained stuff for the links, we got one Muckraker, Unicorn, Access Code Talker, and Underworld Goddess. The link, Rage, Anguish, and Disaster just have to go into a Dark Monster. So on my opponent's turn, I can go into a Unicorn and get rid of an extra card that they have. I can even make an Access Code Talker and just push for lethal. And then I wanted Goddess because I just wanted something to remove any kind of towers or just an outable guy like Borrowland or something. And then for XCs, got the Wave Hiking Caesar. And then I'm playing the Darius and Machinex package with Zeus because Tour Guide is just a one card format Zeus. Just Tour Guide, summon any level 3, make Darius, make Machinex, attack with this 3k guy, and then make Zeus and just help clear boards. Came up at least once during the regional, and then I just went and did my combo during the next turn. I'm sorry, not next turn, in the main phase 2.
So would you change anything from the extra decks? I know some people are playing 3 Soul King of Yama. Would you consider playing 3, or do you think 2 were good enough?
The third hasn't came up for me, but I guess if you had a long enough grind game, the third could come up. I was talking with one of my buddies that to take out this Zeus engine, keep Zeus, but drop the Darius and the Machinex because this card's terrible. I also originally thought that this guy did a negate, but I then found out that it just attaches. It doesn't actually negate the effect, which is terrible. But so I might drop those for Dark and maybe the Nightmare Griffin that a lot of people play just to help block out the opponent from actually playing.
Okay, cool. Let's see the side deck.
Yeah. Side deck, triple nib. Won me my last round versus Cash because he just went full combo and he ended with a nib token, and then I just linked it off with Disaster and killed him. So, and then I had 3 Radiant. This card never came up. I don't think I even put it in once. Again, I wanted something to get rid of the towers, but just never really felt I needed him. I used to play Anti-Spell. I swapped it out for this event, and I might switch it right back because he did not come up at all. And then I was playing Double Cosmic, Herald of the Abyss, Triple D Barrier, and Triple Evenly. Again, more normal spell traps just to search off a Thrust because, again, I didn't have the Prosperity, so Thrust just added extra consistency where I didn't have the Prosperities to come in.
Cool. Did you have any issues with Cash Tiro?
No, the deck can play under the macro and under shifter. My Cash Tiro match, or at least the third round, he shifted me all 3 games, so that was pleasant. But the deck can play and still do its combo. You just lose your recursion because everything's getting banished. But all the new cards like Yama, Shivara, and Shayama, those want to go to grave to get the additional effects. So I played this deck basically from the start, and when this deck was more trap based, I actually mained Shifter because in a trap deck it didn't matter. But for this now, I don't really want to play the Shifter, but I can still play around it. I can still put up a competent board. Basically just Rage and Trap and Rakia. I usually can't put up the Wave King Caesar through a Shifter, but I can still put up 3 interruptions, which isn't terrible.
Yeah. How many rounds was this? Was this 7?
This was 7 rounds, yes.
Cool. And what were your matchups, if you remember them?
Yeah, I have them. I had Lab, 2 Pearly, a Flunder, a Dragon Link, and then I had 2 Cashiers for my last 2 rounds.
Which deck was your one tie?
It was with Dragon Link. We had long and grindy games 1 and 2, and then our game 3 ended during my opponent's main phase. And again, he didn't have Scarlight to burn me for time. So
gotcha. Okay.
And I at the time I'd never put in a side card, so I was like, I hope it doesn't come up, but if it does, I'm screwed. So I got a 1 tie because I didn't have any time cards. I might throw in something in the side deck. I was talking with someone else about maybe Burning Abyss little package, but Barbar needs to banish another thing, so we were talking about Link to Cherubini, but
gotcha.
We'll see.
Were there any like memorable plays that you made throughout the event?
So, fun little interaction. Nibiru and which is it? Rakia.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a effect to quick effect, pop one of my cards, and then I'm locked into Fiends for the rest of the turn. So I would use his effect, pop one of my cards, chain Nib. I'm sorry, no. Nib effect, then the Rakia, and then I'm locked into Fiends. So Nib will still resolve, stay in my hand, clear the board, and it won't summon and give my opponent a token. It's good for a lot of decks, not Cash, because I mean, obviously they want I want them to have the token so they can't, so they don't have the clear field. But it is nice to just keep the Nib in hand for the next turn if it came up.
Cool. Are there any other events you're going to be going to and playing this deck?
I'm doing a regional local to me in like 2 weeks, so I'm going to be playing this again, but by then hopefully I have all the cards I need, and I'll probably switch up the extra deck a little bit, get rid of that Zeus package, because I think it really only came up once, and I don't know if I want to keep that in there.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, congratulations on getting second place. I can't wait to see the mat. I know that this regional season they've definitely improved the matte quality and the deck box look.
Yeah, I'm excited for that black deck box. It looks nice.
Yeah, they look nice and slick now, especially compared to the past. But again, congratulations. You seem to have played really well, especially going technically undefeated with only the 1 tie. 6-0-1 is certainly good, especially for this deck. I had my doubts about Unchained. I knew it was like good as like in a vacuum, but I wasn't too sure about the format, but it seems like it's working for quite a few people.
I think the benefit of the deck is that not everyone knows what all the cards do. I had to explain all my cards in almost every single round. And B, the fact that most removal stuff includes destruction, and this deck just pluses off of destruction based removal, and the few points of interaction that aren't destruction based removal or like evenly, this deck plays around evenly. Like I normally end on like Rage, Rakia, Caesar with Escape set, and if they evenly me, I just chain Escape, pop my Rage and Rakia. Rage gives me follow up, Rakia summons, and then Yama will bring back the Rage, and I still have my full board, and you just wasted your battle phase, and I still get to interrupt you with at least 3 interruptions.
Yeah, it seems insane. How often did the
same thing
the
with
level
Dark
8
Ruler
come up? Oh yeah, Dark Ruler too. Yeah, you can easily play around that.
Yeah, they Dark Ruler me, and then I just pop it and bring it right back. Which level 8? The Disaster?
The one Disaster. The one that people... I didn't realize that like special summons a monster. How did that come up at all?
So, yes, all the time. Okay. It either removed the monster or it caused my opponent to waste one of their negates. And in my book, one is just as good as the other, because then what I would do is sometimes pop it and then bring back the Link 2. Because normally I use this on turn 3 or if I'm going second. So, I mean, if he's destroyed, he's a monster reborn, and then he has the same effect as the Links 2 and 3 that you target one of your opponent's monster and link with it.
Yeah.
But him and the Link 3 are both on my turn. But no, it comes up really good because normally what I was doing was using him making a Link 2. If it was turn 3, usually I was going into Underworld Goddess just because it's generic, or even against, like I said, in the lab matchup, I was making Yama because they're all fiends and just going infinitely plus from there. But I mean, or just make a Link 2 link into Anguish with a third monster, and then Link 4 into Access Code Talker, make it 53. And unfortunately, all the links are dark except for Goddess. So I mean, I only get 1 pop with the Access Code Talker, but I've already cleared 2 monsters with Disaster and Anguish. So this little combo clears 3 cards on the field.
Yep, that makes sense. Like I said, I just can't get over Disaster. Like, why people I understand that it's like technically a brick, you never want to actually draw it.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like you can use both effects in the same turn and it's still recursion, you can just leave it on the field and then summon like Yama back and get Shavara. Like, seems so good, and kind of a misplay not to play.
Yeah, it is the worst card to draw, but I mean, the only stuff that you really have for discard outlets is Abominable, the other level 8, or Muckraker. Those are pretty much my only 2 discard outlets. But no, I mean, also I reread Yama this weekend and found out that it just has to be special summon to search. It does not have to be link summon. So just being able to bring it back and get an additional search was great, because I was not doing that previously at locals, and just finding that out was great.
Yeah, all of these neat little interactions this deck has now. It's so interesting to play. It's so mechanically intense when you actually can use all the effects.
Yeah, the new support definitely bolstered the deck, because like it was lacking. I mean, most recently, I mean, Distant Coder has been like piloting this deck for a little bit, and he made it into like a blind second with like Dark Holes, Regekis, Kaijus, and whatnot. But yeah, no, it actually has teeth now. And going first pulls up a double Solemn Warning, quick link, and a pop, and potentially also a spin if like I go into Unicorn. So I mean,
yeah, it sounds good. Well, again, congratulations, and hope to see you again very soon with another Unchained top.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.